up, everyone, and welcome back to another electric podcast slash TV episode of The Anime Rift, the awesome show where we do everything anime and weeb culture. And joined with me, as always, the most stupendous co-hosts on the entire planet Earth and maybe all the other galaxies. Ox, Jake, what's going on? Happy Super Bowl week.
I think before anyone can ever see Ox, he always does his hands like this, and then as soon as we start, he acts like he wasn't doing it.
What do I do with my hands?
Hey, buddy.
What do I do with my hands?
I rest them on my belly, and then when I breathe in,
It falls
it's
down.
6 towels.
There
That's
it
all
goes.
it is.
Is this what we do?
Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. I think I've never been so proud of Chris in my entire life.
Okay.
She started watching Tokyo Ghoul last week.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Shout out to our Anime Rift ladies who are bringing the homework and dedication just as much as we do, of course, behind all of the wonderful men you see here on your screen. There are just as equally wonderful women that back us up. And with that, let's get into this week's fantastic topics. I have a feeling that we're going to get a little bit villainous this episode. But in honor of Super Bowl week, I know that upon viewing this, the Super Bowl will be over and the winner done, but we're going to have a little fun with it anyways because we're filming, and we are going to do football teams represented by anime characters. So we're going to throw out some football teams that we think anime characters will best represent or vice versa, and we're going to have some fun with it. And then for the rest of it, including the podcast, which will happen shortly after our episode, we're going to talk about anime villains that are hard to hate because, you just can't hate them all. And then, of course, jumping into the podcast, if you stay later on, you're going to get to hear if we could help a villain succeed, who would it be? And what Animeverse has the best villains. So we are coming in to our villain arc this week on the Anime Rift in both our TV and our podcast. So you're going to want to stick around and not miss it. So with that, before we get into it, I just want to make a quick shout out. And this one goes to Megan on TikTok. She said to us in one of our videos, "Love your guys' videos." Well, Megan, thank you. And we love you too. Thank you for supporting us. And thanks to everyone that clicks on our videos and likes them and subscribes to our pages and watches all of our content and leaves us wonderful reviews on Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcasts. So thanks, Megan. We appreciate you. And who knows, if you want to see us live, come on over to Anime North in May. And we'll see you there.
Oh, yeah.
Sign
we appreciate you.
Autographs and whatever you guys want to do. All
right.
right.
On all the foreheads.
Exactly. On the foreheads. Now, jumping into today's topics. Again, Super Bowl week is happening right now at the time of filming. And although many people don't care what teams are playing in it, we certainly want to know what anime characters would be represented in football teams, because that's what we do here at the Anime Rift. We turn everything into anime. So, guys, what do you think the best anime representation of some football teams are going to be? Kick us off, Ox.
Jake looks like he wants to say something.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Now, are we doing like this would be the mascot of the team, or are we doing like this person would play on the team?
Not necessarily a mascot, but like if you
just a correlation.
A correlation. Like who's the best? Like for example, let's say okay. Oh God, I'm gonna struggle with this now that I've thought about this.
Something easy, like Killua and the Chargers.
Exactly,
right?
Killua and the Chargers.
Lightning.
Okay,
right? You can make it easy like that. You can make it a little more complicated.
Yeah.
I was going to say, my best one would probably be Joey Wheeler and the Cowboys, because they've both been taking L's since 1999.
Joey Wheeler.
Yeah, that would be it, because they've been taking L's for a long, long time.
That and Joey and the Cowboys actually have a second thing in common, and that is that they both haven't aired since 1992. The last time that the Cowboys actually thought about a Super Bowl potential.
I don't associate with these guys For all you Cowboy fans,
You know
right?
what, Jake? We're Eagles fans, so we have to hate the Cowboys.
That's fine.
Gotta hate the Cowboys. You have to.
Absolutely.
Man, I think there's some good ones out there. There's some obvious ones, right?
Yeah.
Like I was thinking about it a little bit. Like you could go easy peasy. You can talk about Thorfinn and the Vikings.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
You can do things like that.
I was trying to think of some really elaborate ones because, like again, you said there's easy, like Luffy and the Buccaneers because pirates and like there's just so many easy to grab ones. But I'm trying to think of like some elaborate, like.
Hey,
What's
crazy
a
things.
super niche one that you can think of?
I got one. Nico Robin to the Jets because they could have used a spare leg. You know what I mean?
Oh man, what a dig at Aaron Rodgers.
Nico could also go to the Chiefs because they need hands because none of those receivers can catch balls either, right? Like, nah, they're in the
Yeah, I
Super
know,
Bowl,
but
so
that's
I
why they
can't
have a
talk too
tight
much
end.
smack.
why have wide receivers when you have Travis Kelce on tight end?
That's true. That is absolutely true.
And you know what? We can't even forget the most important one. The most important one. Nami to the Chiefs as Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Because she's got to be there for every single one. I'm just messing around. You know, Taylor Swift brings money to every city that girl touches.
We're losing all the Cowboys fans, all the Swifters,
I enjoy
all the
it.
Travis Kelce fans.
A lot of people be hating it, but like when Nate scrolls over and she's getting hype, dude, it's
Yeah.
hilarious.
You know
to me.
what? I'll be the first to jump on this and say I love what Taylor Swift has done for the NFL. The awareness that has been brought. A lot of people are like, "Oh no, it's just awareness for Taylor Swift." It's really not though, because all of the money and all of the fandom and the things that are getting bought, although it is for Kansas City, it's still in a good way. And I don't hate the person she's dating. I really admire Travis Kelce. I admire his brother Jason Kelce a lot more, but the brothers are very humble, very good people. So anyways, moving this train right along. I thought of it in more like literal senses that you could have people like I totally just forgot it. Gene Bay as like the Washington Commanders.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
And what's the other one? There was a guy from Fairy Tale like I associated with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Don't even think about it, dude.
I mean, there could be some good ones. I mean, like
Yeah.
Hayuku would be good for the Ravens because they're the Crows, which I guess is close enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
yes, that is close enough.
I think anyone that can run fast,
Hey.
like let's say Mike Guy to the Ravens, so that the Ravens can prove that they actually have a running game.
Oh gosh. You
It's
could
like, it wasn't
Alexander
apparent
Anderson
in that game.
Alexander Anderson to the Saints because that just makes too much sense,
Yeah.
right? You know.
Yeah.
That would be a really decent one. I'm sure there's a lot. I wish that like there was a lot of more collabs in there. I know that the Rams did a collab with One Piece
Yes,
this year.
they did. Yeah.
It would
some
be
pretty
cool
sweet
to
stuff.
see
Didn't
that
they
kind of.
animate an entire live action of a football game?
Yeah, it was
this
like
year?
the Toy Story kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did
They
it in-
animated it with Nickelodeon, didn't they? There was like a Nickelodeon thing where they did it.
Well, they did it in like Toy Story, like
Yeah.
But then I know that the Chargers, I think, did their like whenever they announced their schedule, they did like an anime theme like entire video to announce their schedule, and that was pretty cool.
That's pretty neat. Like they did with Worlds.
Yeah.
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 What about the Packers? Is there an anime character that digs cheese that much?
Ooh.
Cheese.
Cheese. Sanji.
Oh god. Oh gosh.
Oh,
No, I was trying to think of some other things.
Sakura out of the Panthers because she sucks.
Oh gosh, listen, you can't do my girl soccer.
Where would Freering go if she had to go on a team?
Oh, Freeman? Oh man.
I'm like 3 episodes into that, so like it's
Who
gotta be
needs-
high.
who needs-
Phenomenal.
We're
who
talking
needs a
like
superstar?
Eagles. We're talking,
Yeah.
Eagles, maybe.
yeah.
They could use some help. I can tell you
They
that.
could use some help.
Would I take Freeman's help? Absolutely.
Oh,
1,000-year-old mage.
I'll tell you that. I'm taking that help
Out in
all
a
day.
heartbeat.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of
Baruto
some.
kind of looks like Patrick Mahomes.
Uh,
Just gonna say that.
I'm just gonna say, I don't see that correlation.
I mean,
I don't
it
see
kind
that
of looks
one.
like Patrick Mahomes, with the headband and the hair. The only thing that's lacking is the Kermit the Frog voice.
I won't let him
Oh.
disrespect Boruto like that, Alex. If I were you.
That's disrespectful.
I
That's
won't
real
stand for it.
disrespectful.
Okay, fine. Boruto as Brock Purdy.
Well, okay, if Boruto's the Kansas City Chiefs, then that puts Naruto on the Bills because the Bills can't beat the Chiefs, so that only makes sense.
It's too soon, man.
Mm.
Look, Bill's Mafia is the closest thing
Hey,
you get here in Canada,
listen.
all right?
I'm gonna tell you one thing. I scoured the internet for anime characters. I don't think there's any. I think you could put Saitama on the Bills, and he still couldn't get past Kansas City.
That's how you feel?
Patrick Mahomes. I'm pretty.
That's how
sure,
you feel.
I'm pretty sure Saitama could play any position on that team, and Josh Allen still couldn't do it.
It's you know what? There are just those rivalries in football, unfortunately. And
Can't call it a rivalry when you're always losing. I'll tell you
well, it's still a rivalry. I mean, look at everybody that lost to Tom Brady. It's
You know.
just it's just
Tom Brady had a rivalry with everyone.
yeah, with everybody. Just couldn't beat him. You were like, okay, don't worry, we're up. Wait. How much time's left in the game? 2 minutes? Yeah, we're gonna lose this game. Doesn't even matter. Tom's got 2 minutes. We're good. It's over.
Yeah, dude. I would just love to see a line of just anime collabs across the NFL. I would be all for it.
Well,
The guy
and I
from
think-
Shangri-La could be with the Eagles, man. There you go.
Hey.
I think because the Rams one was so successful, I think next year you might see more and more because there would be some really sweet collabs that could come out
Mhm.
just in team colors alone, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
there's some great ones you could have. And this is just like we're just listing animes just off the top of our head. Like there's so many NFL teams that you could run so many, eclectic animes with. Like it's not even funny. So yeah.
Who would run an 86 collab?
Wow,
Oh,
who would run an 86
the
collab,
Steelers?
dude?
I feel like that's a Steelers move.
Yeah, that's a Steelers move.
Like
I can agree
Mech
with
Mech
that.
anime,
Yeah.
Steelers, rough and tough. And you know what? They've got the fan base. That or like Raiders Nation, man. But-
Raiders.
But I feel like the Raiders are more I don't know. Like I feel like the Raiders would be I don't know, it's tough. They're black hole, man. It's something else. There's some dedicated fans out there, man. That the black hole is just an experience. So
Yeah, I think that there's so many. I mean, Spy Family with the Patriots because they did all that cheating and spying on other teams.
yeah, but Bill Belichick's gone now.
I'm kidding.
The dynasty is
I'm
dynasty's done.
kidding.
Tom broke it up.
And it's crazy to me that it's he ain't even got a job right now, but
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there.
Like Edelman went, Tom went, Gronk went. Now
Hey.
Belichick's gone. The team's just like womp womp womp. Poor Robert Kraft. He's next.
Nah, they'll make some kind of swing back and they'll do something, I'm sure. But
Yeah. There's
I'd
more
have to
things
sit
like-
down. I'd have to sit down. I bet you alone, there's a lot that you can do. Like, I thought, any lightning or thunder user you could throw on the Chargers.
Chargers.
easily.
Yeah, like you could do like
that's
Kakashi, Sasuke, anything that uses lightning.
yeah. You can do anybody like that. There's some tough ones because like the Texans, don't know nobody. Can't even
The
think about talking
Texans.
about.
Maybe someone from Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
At
Yeah,
first,
yeah.
I was thinking like, who's I don't that
The
stupid
Black
annoying
Bulls?
anime. Black Bulls. Yeah, you could do somebody with Black Bulls, but the girl from Fairy Tale that summons the Aquarius and all those different.
Oh,
Lucy?
with the keys.
yeah,
Oh, Lucy.
right? Yeah,
Lucy.
Taurus would be one of the ones that she could summon. I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Makes
an
sense.
annoying character, dog.
Buddy, let me tell you.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was annoying.
I felt like the girl from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody had become an anime character.
Wait,
Tipton
which one?
or Hilary
London
Duff?
or London or
No, the other one, the blonde-haired one.
oh, Ashley Tisdale's character.
Ashley
Yeah,
Tisdale.
I felt
Yeah,
like
yeah.
she just became an anime character, and that's where she went to. I don't know.
Now we know. Now we know who to find when we make a live-action fairy tale, and it's Ashley
Hey.
Tisdale.
Ashley Tisdale.
You do a great job.
She's Lucy.
Great job.
Yeah.
Alrighty. What we got on the docket next? I'm ready to get real villainous, dude.
Okay,
I've been
so-
excited.
Balls.
Let's dim the lights, like have already happened in my room here, because lighting is a problem here. And let's talk anime villains that are hard to hate. And I
Mhm.
mean, there are some good ones out here. Like there's it's not even really so much of a debate as it is just going to be a really good conversation about who you you just despise them, but man, it's just hard to hate them, you know, because they either what they did on principle, or they just stood behind it so well that you're like, was it really that bad? You know, like, or you
I feel
just
like
agree
there's
with them,
a
or you
There's
just
a
probably
agree
a
with
lot.
lot of people that would choose Light Yagami. I feel like
Yeah.
you know, obviously, because like you know, I feel like no one hated Light.
Let's, you know
That's
what? Let's do ourselves a favor. Let's cut out the big ones. We know Itachi is on that list. No
Yeah.
matter how much you don't like what he did, after you found the reveal and you knew what he did it for and why he did it, he became one of the most favorite characters in anime. So I say we
Mhm.
can't say that one because it's an obvious one that he's
that's-
hard to hate.
I feel like anime does a really good job too of letting you see the villain side of things.
Yeah.
So like with Madara, you're like, I see where he's coming from.
Mhm.
Is it the
Mhm.
right thing to do? No, but I do see where he's
Yeah.
coming from.
Yeah,
Like,
I
and then
get
at
it.
the end of the day, you're like, man, Madara really just wanted to do that, so like
Everyone
You
can be
know.
free.
everyone
Yeah.
could be free. Like
Yeah.
his family and you know his brothers were still alive and all this other stuff. Like he himself wanted to be in that. You know
Yeah.
that
He
dream.
wanted to be in the Tsukiyomi, yeah.
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 It's crazy. But as far as characters go, who do you guys think? What would your top pick be? I got a lot. I got a couple though.
Who's
my
the
top three.
the chimera ant from Hunter x Hunter?
Merowyn.
Merwin, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like he was slept on.
Yeah, Merowyn was definitely slept on.
I know one for me is Maximilian Pegasus.
Maximilian
Big villain
Pegasus, okay.
in the first
From
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah, the first
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh. He was the villain, captured people, did all the bad stuff,
Mhm.
but it was for the most noble reason. He's just he was doing the Dr. Freeze thing. Everything he did was not really just to do
Mhm.
crime, but it was to bring his wife back. That's
Mhm.
all Dr.
Is that just the
You know what though? I feel
Pick up
this
the hammer.
falls under the thing of if people would have just let him do his thing, more people wouldn't have been hurt. I say this all the time in the Batman argument with Victor Freeze. Everything he did, it was purpose towards saving his wife. If you would have just left him alone, he wouldn't have hurt any other people. He would have just taken his things and moved on with his life. Like,
person said the needs of myself outweigh the needs of the others?
you know, this isn't Spock. All right?
Yeah.
Like,
Hey,
forget the needs of many. It's the needs of me.
I can
I
see
only
that.
live once.
Listen, villain that I just find hard to hate. Like for me, I have two. My first one would probably be Sukuna, because that's just one cool dude, right? Like he's just so bad,
Yeah.
just down to his abilities, the way he like kind of holds himself. I mean, the king of curses, and like no one can sit here and tell me they were watching the Shibuya arc where Sukuna took over Itadori, and yes, he was devastating the whole city, but no one was like, "Oh my goodness, I hate what's happening right now." You were
Yeah.
sitting in awe and just
Yeah.
watching the magnificence of it all, right? Like,
Yeah.
and it was cool. You hate to say it, but that is one cool dude. My other pick would be Shishomaru.
Oh yeah, good one.
That's
Another one. Yeah, that's a
Man.
banger one.
that Shishomaru was that dude,
Yeah.
and I hate it for Inuyasha, but his brother was just, I mean, he was swagged out. I think he had like some really good character development as well. I mean, they hated each other. He grown to love that girl, Rin, and it went on from there. And he eventually made up with his brother and helped them defeat the big bad guy. So, Shishomaru was great.
You went so far back to Inuyasha. I was like, Shishomaru.
Shishomaru, baby, that's a good one.
Yeah, Inuyasha is a
Dude.
classic.
And like that's got to be one of the best character designs I've ever seen, dude. For its
Yeah.
time,
Yeah, for its time, top tier.
Shishomaru was gas.
Yeah, top tier.
Two of them for me, and again, kind of going back to my old faithfuls here. I really, really liked Pain, even though he was a huge
Mhm.
villain. And another one for me, was Akihibo Kaiga, who is a consistent hate throughout Sword Art, but you know, through the stories and through the legends, and same thing with Pain, you you come to actually see the side of where it all went sideways. And I mean, Pain was hated universally across the board because of what happened with Jiraiya. But after you actually like, after Naruto confronts Nagato in the
Mhm.
tree, and you're kind of like, ooh, like the lines that he just pulls out in Naruto are just absolutely top tier. Like you
Mhm.
can't know pain until you first, actually broken yourself. So it's kind of like, just nuts. Like some of it's just mind
Yeah,
blowing.
dude.
So
Pain's a good one. I like Pain.
for the Sword Art one, what was like the turning point when you were like, okay, maybe he's onto something here?
So in the first arc, they just have it as he's the madman that created a universe that trapped everyone inside of it. But as you kind of get through Alfheim, you realize that he's kind of, because he's in the game, right?
Hmm.
He's taken his self out of the actual world and put himself into the game. So you realize he starts to guide Kirito to the
Mhm.
decisions that he makes to get the egg to recreate the island, and gives Kirito that power to make the universe whatever it was going to be and whatever he wanted it to be. And the only difference that Kirito made was that people could log out. But
Mm.
he didn't change a thing, kind of proving that what he created, the world that he created, was almost better than existing in real life. And that was the conflict that goes throughout the entire saga, is that everything that's created by him has served some greater purpose. The girl in Mother's Rosario was riddled with diseases, and the machine that was created, the full dive machine that was created by Akihiko Kaiga, was keeping her alive because her mental was alive in the game. Her body was toast in reality. And then same thing on the Turtle Island. It was the same thing. All of his genius, everything was keeping people alive. And so really you start to find out that his full dive was more medical than it was anything else.
Recreational,
It's
yeah.
just something flipped, and he didn't want to be in the real world anymore, and he decided to take as many people as he could with him. And you just kind of start to see that side. I mean, you have to admit, there's been a point in all of our lives as big time gamers that you haven't sat back and thought, man, how different would my life be if I was trapped inside of a video game for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
Like, would I worry about all the crap that's going on out here, and so on and so forth? And I've been there, I've been there.
You've been
So-
there. You've been there. You've done that. Nah, dude, I'm like looking at the list. Like, I'm trying to like think of. Dude, I'm trying to like. Is there even a villain that I absolutely despise?
Donzo.
Yeah, you
I
do
hate
hate
that
Gonzo.
dude.
You do hate
I
Gonzo.
hated him. I hated him. I hated him.
Like Mahito, I don't think I.
But like also Donzo had a point, right?
No.
Yeah, but Donzo also protected the village in his own way,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
he protected it
well.
from the shadows, and everything he did do was for the village. Like, you can
He
say
did
that. What about Askeladd?
everyone dirty.
Ask
Because you hated that guy.
I don't know, but you kind of liked him at the end.
But
He's
you-
like,
yeah.
game is the game.
Yeah, like the redemption there was crazy, and he didn't, like that. That's a tough one because, like,
And for him to be Welsh the whole time, that was like his undercover.
yeah, that's a tough one because, like, you did absolutely hate that dude for
Yeah.
like the longest.
I know
mean-
I know that one of the top hated villains of all time is Frieza in Dragon Ball Z. That's one of the
Yeah.
most hated.
I think he's just annoying though, or
Yeah.
she.
Yeah, Frieza's kind of like, but the cool thing about Frieza though is the talent and potential that he has is absolutely insane.
The
right?
different forms.
Like
and
that's the
everything.
thing that I respect because to be dead and then to come back and to train for 3 months and to catch up to years
Mhm.
and years of training that Vegeta and Goku did just shows how talented the dude
Mhm.
was and how strong he could be.
I
So I
mean-
thought that's crazy. I can respect back that, but like every time he says monkey, it makes me want to punch a hole in my.
I know one person off the top of my head that I can think of is just never liking, absolutely hating. In fact, I wish they would have just wrote him out. And that was like Sho Tucker, Dr. Sho Tucker. And
Shao Tucker, yeah.
in Full Metal Alchemist. Like that dude was just like
Hey,
off the rocker. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Hey,
I
listen.
couldn't.
When somebody
Yeah.
says name an anime character to make you bark like a dog, I say Shout Tucker.
Yeah.
Okay.
He turned me
Yeah,
into
like
that thing.
Yeah,
he did was just
that's a good one.
that's a big hate.
There's a lot that you hate just to hate them, but like I think Gilgamesh from I can't even think of the name of it now. I love it so much. I always talk about it any other time. The Fate
Fate Stay Night?
series, yeah, Fate series.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
But same reason for as Sukuna, like he's a bad dude, but he's a bad dude.
Yeah.
Like,
He pulls you in.
oh, man,
You're like,
it's
malevolent
something about
shot.
just like the egotistical like character that can back it up, and it's just so profoundly like just swagged out.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, dude. Like and then Gilgamesh didn't do it, but like Sukuna does it. Like when he fights off against the flame curse.
Kills him.
And he's just and he tells him, he's like, you are strong. And he was like, he said, what you should have done was you should have just burned it all to the ground without a second thought. And I was just like, he's giving him the business right now.
He was like, he said, I mean it with the utmost respect because you are strong.
Yeah, and one shot him
with his own fire, which is his weakness.
As much as we're in deep on this one, unfortunately, I gotta cut you guys off because Rogers is gonna tell us any second now that this is the end of this episode, and I just want to get some final comments out of you guys before we continue this one into our podcast and get into our other topics that you guys are gonna want to hear. Any final thoughts? Any last feelings from you guys?
Yeah, I think I am good. I'm ready to talk a little bit more about some other stuff. So if anybody is interested, make sure you tune in. Watch us on YouTube, see the rest of the full episode, or catch us on Spotify.
Yeah, let's jump into the podcast. I'm ready to really deep dive into this stuff.
And we'll count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it's podcast time. It's podcast time.
Okay, guys. Go ahead, hit your vapes, take your shots, whatever you need to do. I know you guys be fiending after 27 and a half minutes.
It's villain time, all right? We are... Anything can happen.
Jesus.
I thought I muted myself. That's on me. I thought I muted myself.
We're drinking drinks we're not sponsored for. Speaking of which, Dwayne Johnson, why aren't you sponsoring us yet?
Hey, I cussed a few times during the...
Buddy, I know. You're just trying to make my job harder.
I know. Why are you making editor...
I feel like you wake up every day and you say, how can I fuck over Ox today?
How can I make Ox a little bit more pissed off?
Fuck this up. All right.
Listen.
Well, if you are just tuning in, Rogers is done. The PG is off the table. It's rated R. We're here. We're ready to blast some more podcast content your way because we do this weekly now. We are in the middle of our villain arc if you haven't been watching the Rogers episode already, but we know you are because you're awesome. And we are now going to talk about our 2 next spicy topics in our villain saga, and that is, if you could help a villain succeed, who would it be, and what Animeverse has the best villains? Let's take it off. If we could help a villain succeed, who's it going to be? Who are we helping grant world domination? I already know mine. And it's partly because we're all living in it. And you just don't know it.
I got 2 good options.
Yep.
Okay.
Number
1, Don Quixote's Doflamingo.
You helping Doflamingo?
I'm helping Doflamingo. And let me explain why. I know the dude was a savage, right? A savage, relentless, all these things. But at the end of the day, his main goal was to tear down the Celestial Dragons.
Yeah, to eliminate social classes, essentially.
Right, that was his main goal. Now, he was stupid ruthless, right? But the other reason is because I just feel like he should have been more of a late game.
Yeah, they brought him in early.
Yeah, he should have been more of a late game villain, and I would have loved to seen him further down the line. Like, just him versus Gear 5 Luffy or something. I think it would have been hot.
But I think he's playing. I feel like he's going to play a bigger role.
Yeah, I hope so.
Because really he's locked up right now. He's saying a lot of stuff while he's locked up that he's essentially not supposed to know.
Yeah, I think it's just hard to go against it because like you hate the as a One Piece fan and as you watch, the world government is super corrupt. The celestial dragons are absolutely the most hated things
Yeah,
in that
I think
series.
Power World's bad. Yeah,
Right. And it's just like you watch it and you see how the celestial dragons act, and the fact that he technically, he is one. Like, he hates it to his guts, And I think I would definitely help Doflamingo achieve his goals. Now, would I close my eyes a little bit when he's slaughtering millions? Probably. But to tear down the celestial dragons, worth it.
Hmm.
Call me crazy. At least you call me. You know
Hey,
what I'm
what's it
saying?
called? Yeah.
Oh god.
Don Quixote del Flamingo.
Yeah, and my other one would have been we talked about just earlier would be Maryland. I think that's another fantastic.
Yeah, I think he was actually trying real hard.
Yeah, well, like it started out really bad, like but he kind of realized and came to the realization that hey, the strong are meant to protect the weak. And I mean, he said that yes, I would have to probably rule in fear in the beginning, but eventually I would create an equal world. And I truly believed him when he said that. And I hate that he had to technically be eliminated by the Hunter Association, but I think that would have been another one I wouldn't have mind seeing the outcome of him making that decision and seeing what would have happened in the world. The only thing that the only time you really get to see what he's talking about, like with the rich and the poor and everything, is just from that specific arc. You get to see little glimpses of people in power, not in power. So I think that it would have probably held a little bit more weight if that's something you saw from the beginning of the series to the end, kind of like you do like in One Piece. Like you see the world government from day one, to current like world government celestial, how corrupt it is. So that would be my only reason for choosing Doflamingo over Meryl.
Fair enough.
Okay. Frozen.
Okay, so I've got
Madara.
a few, but I'm gonna go in a direction you guys aren't expecting me to go, and mostly because I crap on this anime quite a bit, and it's only as a joke. But I'm helping my main man, Askeladd. We're taking down everybody.
Oh,
Everybody's going down. I like his story. I think he's a fantastic kind of villain that plays out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he deserves his revenge for what happened to his people. And I'm gonna help him get it.
Okay.
Another
he low-key kind of succeeded though.
Yeah, he did. He kind of at least started it out. He got the person in power he wanted to get in power and kind of instilled things into them. So
yeah.
he kind of got what he wanted, but kind of didn't.
Yeah, that's fair. Another one I'm helping, Tamura. My Hero Academia. I just kind of love the whole idea of villains taking over the world and the hatred of heroes. Like, if you were to flip My Hero Academia on its head, I just kind of want to see what that world looks like.
I could agree with you there if you would have went with Stain the hero killer.
Stain?
Yeah, because Stain was more of an anti-hero. He wasn't a villain, but he in a society that's run by heroes and that they're paid, like he did have a point.
He was infamous, yeah.
Yeah, whereas Toma Shigaraki, yeah, but I mean, technically, he's out here killing heroes, right? But the thing with Toma is he just kind of used Stain's idealism to change, So I feel like that's not really his true goal. I like Stain better than Shigaraki, but I can see where you're coming from with Shigaraki.
And then if I had to pick a number one, I've got a straight tie between Madara, Uchiha, and Light Yagami, because they're the two most, obvious answers to who we're going to help. Obviously, we want to see Madara get the Infinite Tsukuyomi off, but I low-key still think he did. Controversy plot point. Naruto's just happened in a fantasy world. and Light Yagami, obvious reasons, right? So,
you just want to slaughter millions.
Yeah, he's such a compelling villain. Like, it's so just and the thing is I can't even classify Eren Yeager as a villain because he really only has the villain arc at the end. So technically that makes his dad the villain, but I don't know, it's like one in the same, you know what I mean? So that's why I kind of wrote Eren / his father / creator of Titans off the board, right? Because it's just kind of like it did unfold. It almost did happen. Well, technically, it did happen. right? If we follow the Eren Yeager and the end of the story, it did happen. It's so really that one didn't really fit the bill, but it's like almost a dead tie between Light Yagami and Madara, because I kind of want to, see how that world unfolds that way and where it goes from there.
That makes sense. There could be some really crazy answers in this, right? Like you get to see where some people's character lies.
I mean,
you know?
if you're Jake, I'm half expecting to see some like.
Yeah.
Remember when he wanted
Yeah.
the tectonic plates to shift so
Yeah.
he could
Okay,
like
here we go.
blow
Yeah,
the
I'm
world up? Like,
expecting.
he's the type of person, Jake, you're the show Tucker. You're just or the Shao Tucker. You're like, I like him. I'm like,
Okay. Well,
I'm just kidding.
you already got One Piece. Doki Hote is probably one of the best ones to pick from One Piece.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got Naruto, Madara, of course. Everyone's been debating with Madara made a good decision, but with Bleach,
Ooh,
Aizen.
what's his name?
Aizen.
They always call him the Majesty.
Aizen.
Aizen.
No, the Quincy, the Majesty guy.
Oh, yeah, it knows, dude.
Yahaban.
Yahabek or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Yawabek or something like that. Yeah.
But like
yeah.
his idea that he wants to destroy the Soul Society because they're releasing souls that need to be condemned.
Mhm.
He's kind of got a
See,
point.
I don't know. I'm gonna argue with you on that one, dude. Because like the Soul Society's right. They're killing souls. Quincy's are killing souls.
Yeah.
Where the Soul Society is releasing those souls. Right. Like so, when a soul goes away, it becomes. I can't even think of what they call them in the verse, but I think you're wrong for killing them off. Right.
But their reasoning was because those souls can come back again and become
Mhm.
a plague
they
again.
they go to the Serate.
Yeah.
Their souls remain in the Serate once they're no longer.
But I thought they could be re-released from the Serate back into the world again.
I don't know. I don't think they can be re-released.
And I
Back
thought
into the
that was the
world.
whole point, like why the Quincy's hated the Soul Reapers, because they kept like sending souls back and over again to like an endless
No,
loop.
well, the Quincy's hated the Soul Reapers because the Soul Reapers pretty much killed them off. Because they had a war because one was killing the souls and one was basically reviving the souls.
Okay.
And that was their argument was like, hey, we can kill them. That gets rid of them. And the Soul Society was like, no, like, we can save these souls at the same time. And I think that's where their beef came from.
Okay, because I thought the Soul Society was like just recycling them back into the cycle of
Now,
it.
was the Soul Society wrong for capturing Quincy's and torturing them and all this other business? Absolutely. But I think, I don't know, it's tough. But killing off the soul, I think that's rough. I thought you were going to go with Aizen. I thought you were going to go with
Well,
Aizen.
Aizen was just a power hungry guy.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, I think he wants to like topple the Soul King.
Yeah.
And I don't know like the ins and outs of it, of what the implications of that would be. Like if the Soul King is torn down from power, like what does that,
Yeah, because seeing his royal guard is like the first time we actually have any remnants of the Soul King.
That's a pretty good one. I wish I remember what they're called now. In Bleach. I'm off my game, guys.
What's called?
The main enemy in Bleach, whenever the souls change and they turn into the I keep wanting to say Heartless. Like
I was about to say
Kingdom
Heartless
Hearts.
myself.
Kingdom Hearts here.
Yeah, but it's not good. No, it's not Heartless. But I see where you mean. Grimjow's a good one, dude.
Grimjow's cool.
Cool shit. I don't
But
know if
yeah.
there's I don't know if there's any other anime like, because a lot, like you said earlier, there's a lot of villains that have a really good reason for why they're a villain and why they became a villain.
Yeah.
And I just there's honestly a crap ton. Like even like we said earlier, Madara is one.
Well, and I think too we're looking at it as an overall, because let's be real, there are multiple villains in some of these longer spanning animes like Dragon Ball Z. I mean, 50, 60 villains, right? And Naruto, again, 20,
Mhm.
30, 40 villains, right? One Piece, the list can go forever, right? It's a matter of picking that one where they have the monstrous arc that almost feels like they've been the big baddie the whole time. And I think that the
Mhm.
reason that Madara is attractive is because it almost does that switcheroo on you the entire series, right? When you learn about the Uchihas and they focus on Itachi, but then you realize, oh, Toby's there. Toby's really Madara. Wait, no, he's not Madara. Wait, yes, he is Madara, right? And then he plays a role throughout the rest of Shippuden as being, even when like the giant space celestial thing is like, it's still in some way all ties back to the grand plan, which when you go back 1,000 years to the first Hokage, it's like it's still Madara, right? And how he was wrong, right? So it's finding that one villain in the sea of all the villains that kind of stands out. And that was the tough part about this, is that Tokyo Ghoul, for example, there's quite a few baddies in that one. Demon Slayer, again, same thing. There's an entire upper 10, right? Like of just baddies that you can go off of and say, well, this is the goal, but they all serve one big baddie who is the ultimate goal, which I couldn't give any nod to Demon Slayer because in the anime that hasn't been revealed yet, right? We don't know what the ultimate goal is here. Obviously, it's to kill all the Demon Slayers, but we're only being introduced to the upper one and the big baddie at the end of the day, right? So speaking of which, I did forget to mention that dust off your calendars for February 23rd, guys, because it's training arc season and Demon Slayer returns.
Are they doing a training arc?
It is. It's the Hashira training arc. And
we'll see how they do.
Depending on where you are around the world, you can see it in movie theaters. Buy a ticket to watch it once a week at your local movie theater. I know that's going to come nowhere here, and it's probably a Japan exclusive thing, but that would be
sounds like
cool.
A waste of money to me.
You would love to watch some episodes.
No, not in the movie theater. It's Hollows, Jake. They're Hollows.
Hollows.
That's what it is.
Close though.
I think that's good. So I'm excited about, as someone that I do be hating on Demon Slayer a lot. I'm excited about this arc coming up. I'm a big fan of training arcs. That's part of the reason why the season 1 is still my favorite season of Demon Slayer than all the other ones. But so I am excited about this one.
If you saw my latest thumbnail for our video we posted today, I tried every conceivable way last night to try and fit Demon Slayer just to piss off Ox.
I would have deleted it.
Into having Thor's hammer, and I just couldn't do it because their artwork is too damn intricate. I couldn't fit the hammers in where it didn't look god awful. Like I wanted it to look god awful in a comedy sense. That's why I did the classic Naruto and Sasuke. But there just wasn't a piece of art that I could find that wasn't watermarked to all hell. And that worked with Demon Slayer because it was just way too there was way too much going on. Like it was just like there were water dragons and phoenixes, and I'm like, I can't fit any of this in a thumbnail. Like that's not gonna work.
Maybe if they spent a little less time on their art and a little bit more on the story, they'd probably actually have a good anime. But
and vice versa, maybe if JJK paid their people, we'd have a better anime. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe whoever wrote Solo Leveling did a good job. We had first episode.
There's the real villains.
Hey, listen. That JJK season was some gas.
It was great. It was fantastic.
Oh, did y'all watch the new episode of episode 5
of Solo Leveling?
Yeah.
Oh, you know I did. I didn't miss that. And Dr. Elise. Dr. Elise was absolute fire. All right, like I was knocking back shots of fireball just because that's how gas it was.
Episode 4 and I think 5 is about to come out like tomorrow or something.
Okay. Wednesday,
I am caught up on current on both of those. That last episode of Solo Leveling, absolute favorite right there.
Right? I know
it's getting better
and better.
Because I'm a big fan on whenever they play into a character's like strengths,
Mhm.
and like even from episode 1, I love a perceptive character because and he was perceptive enough and knew enough to kind of help those guys get by those dungeons and help a few people survive. And you got to play a little bit more along with that and his inner dialogue in this episode 5. I really enjoyed that. Now
Mhm.
I am super when it ended,
Yeah.
I was like,
My brother and I make it a point to watch Solo Leveling together, and I just want to say I can now confirm that the creators of Solo Leveling are watching our podcast, because in the last episode I said, man, it would be really nice if they would tell us where he allocated those points to. And the very first scene of that next episode, he's like, well, I don't want to go too much into strength, so I better put it all over the place. And I was like, they listen to our podcast.
It was nice.
And my brother, we're sitting there, and as they're going in the dungeon, my brother is looking at me and he's like, these guys have some Laughing Coffin vibes, man. And for those that aren't familiar, Laughing Coffin was a player killing guild in Sword Art Online that was famous for taking people on missions, trapping them, and then PKing them, which player killing, and ending their life. So he was just like, I don't know, man, the way he got this job, just giving me some Laughing Coffin vibes. And lo and behold, he wasn't wrong. But the thing is that they don't know is that he's such an ultimate badass that they really just robbed themselves of all that loot, because you know he's going to beat that spider, and they're not going to get anything from it, and man's going to get beefcaked out of his mind.
I feel like my boy's gonna beat the spider and be like, "That was like easier than the snake."
He's coming out with dual wielding katana spider legs. All right, like we know.
Dude. And I think one of the funniest things in the episode is it started out as the biggest thirst trap you've ever seen in an anime, because like all the nurses were like, yo, you see the dude in room 107? He's fine, dude.
This had more thirst trap than a Tom Brady underwear commercial. All right,
it was. I was like, he's over there exercising. He's dripping sweat. That girl's like, "Can I get your number?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, dude. Like, you want to check up all these?"
Just like us.
Yeah, he was with my test results.
Got some test results coming my way. Anyways, it was amazing, and Dr. Elise was amazing.
Yeah, Dr. Elise is getting pretty good. That last episode had a lot of implications. A lot.
Now the last episode I watched was the one
like with fire, man, because people are starting to question why she knows these procedures that are not in place. But let me point out the one continuity error in this one. They don't know what a ruptured kidney is, but they have an EKG machine, because you can hear him say, "We need the electronic, pulsating machine to fix his heart," and it's like, wait, you don't know what a ruptured spleen is, but you have an EKG machine in the 1800s?
Hey, buddy, hey, let them. They got a defibrillator, and they, hey.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, wait a second here.
Hey, they're trying their best.
I'm not in it for the small political details. The story itself is absolute fire. But we gotta push this one in our villain arc, because I think we're starting to get a little fanboy there. It shows ooh. What anime verse has the best villains? And I think we might agree on this one. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe
I know what mine is.
What is it? Tell me.
One Piece. One Piece, I think, has the greatest collection of villains, and I'll tell you why. I'll back it up with fact, because I don't want anyone to think I'm just fanboying One Piece, even though I've been watching it like crazy. There is no villain in One Piece that is, how like in most animes like Naruto, every single person you encounter is some godly strength, and then leads to it, and he's like, I'm the strongest person of all time, and the next person you meet is the strongest of all time, so on and so on as we go up the ladder. Luffy's just always gets progressively deeper, right? Deeper, and you're made aware of it from the beginning. It's not the fact that he's going to fight all these different people. It's the fact that the further he goes, the more dangerous this world gets. And he's warned about this as he starts climbing the ladder of people that are in the ocean, right? So it's like he gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And so I think that just from a development and a storyline and everything like that, One Piece has the greatest collection of villains that put together are really just ultimate people.
Yeah.
I dig
And
that. I dig that.
I don't know about y'all. There's only one villain in all of One Piece that I really did not enjoy, and that's Gecko Moria.
Yeah. Gecko
But
Moria was
but that arc, if it wasn't for the one
the
shot
ending.
and the ending,
Mhm.
I would hate that arc. But the one shot that they made explaining the dragon sword and the ending made that arc amazing. But yeah, Gecko Moria is the worst.
Yeah, that one is now. This one's tough. Now I think I will lean a little bit more on One Piece. The thing I love about the villains in One Piece is they're what a villain should be, and when I mean that is like Kaido, for instance. Kaido, like, he doesn't care. He attacks you when you're not looking.
Yeah.
Like he's not gonna, he doesn't care about like the whatever, honorable battle, honorable fight, all this stuff. And a villain shouldn't, right? Like Luffy's down or Luffy makes a mistake, he's on him. He's
He's
still
on his
attacking.
pirate time.
Like
Mhm.
same thing. Like with Odin, like somebody interrupted Odin in that fight and got his attention. Kaido still attacked him. He didn't feel sorry for him, nothing like that, and said. And later on, he said, "Yeah, that guy's taken care of. Didn't appreciate it, but I wasn't going to miss my opportunity to
Yeah.
slay you." So I think that's the one thing that I do love about One Piece villains. It's just like they will take advantage of you, whereas like if it's Dragon Ball Z or Naruto or something like that, like they kind of don't, some big
They'll
time
let you do
villains.
your
Yeah,
speech.
yeah, they'll let you do
Yeah.
your speech. They'll let you
Well,
power up. They'll let you do all this stuff. Not One Piece.
and
They
that
ain't
was
doing that.
that was my biggest reason behind the whole not picking Naruto, is even though it has great villains, the problem is they're so beefcaked. Like, how many episodes were there where I don't think there was one episode that anyone actually engaged with Itachi and fought him,
Mhm.
because the only person to actually land blow for blow with him was Sasuke, because every single time they got close, you found out it wasn't actually him. He was on a rock 3,000 miles away fighting you with a clone of a wooden tree,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the fact was is you lost to the clone of a wooden tree. And it's like you can't look the guy directly in the eyes or you're trapped. It's the same thing with Madara. You never actually fight him because he's so uber powerful that you have to be that powerful to land it. And again, when they start monologuing and then you hear the Naruto fight music come in, you're like, somebody's about to show up here that changes the course of this battle, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I feel with Luffy in that you see these knockdown, drag out fights that
Mhm.
Luffy's got to learn from his mistakes, or Luffy does something dumb and he's got to correct it, or he gets beat to the ground. Like, I loved it when he fought. Why did I just forget his name? I almost just said Killer Croc.
Crocodile.
Yeah, Crocodile. When he fights Crocodile, right? And you're just kind of like, wait a second, like Luffy's going blow for blow with this guy, right? And you're just kind of like, this is awesome. Like it just, I find that the power structure in One
Mhm.
Piece is more realistic to how we would want a villain fight to go.
And that's hard because like I love the Akatsuki, like that organization, like, and it's hard to like beat that. The Espada or another one, like they're
Espada are
so
good.
they are so good.
Espada
And,
was
like
good.
I could take that. I would love that as an answer too. But I think One Piece, they represent what villains need to be.
Mhm.
And it's also, every single one of them is more. I don't know. I feel like with One Piece, it's there are different groups every time. Versus like Naruto. Essentially, at the end of it, like it all boils down to one group, and it
Group of
all boils
people,
down
yeah.
to the Akatsuki. It
Yeah.
boils down to the Otsutsuki in Boruto. In Bleach, it's the Aizen and his Espada, and then in Thousand Year Blood War arc, it's the Quincy's. Right? It's more like an organization, not more or less like a villain itself. And that's another reason I choose those over. And looking at like some of the other ones, like even like Demon Slayer, it's more of an organization they're kind of
Mhm.
dealing with. They're dealing with demons in general, but at the end of it, it's more like
It's
it's
one
still
guy. Yeah.
the upper and lowers
Yeah,
that are
so
still
yeah,
like the elite.
yeah, that's the main thing. Whereas like One Piece, like I mean, every captain is its own organization, right? You got Blackbeard,
Yeah.
you got Doflamingo, you got Crocodile. Like
Hmm.
it goes on and on and on.
And then you got different people that aren't even part of like main
Yeah.
like Hawkeye Mihawk, right? Other powerful singled out pirates that are not
Yeah.
in some kind of monstrous crew, right?
Mhm.
And same thing with like the Marines. You still have like Garp. That's gonna
Yeah.
have to come to fruition one day.
Yeah.
Garp and yeah.
You have all the
Smoker.
admirals, Smoker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then and if it's not that, any other anime might just have one single like antagonist the whole time.
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
that keeps his-
Dragon Ball Z's pretty good. I mean, Dragon Ball Z's got Majin Buu, they got Frieza, they got Cell.
They had good
That's-
arcs. Yeah,
That's,
good
that's
villain
pretty
arcs.
solid villains.
Yeah.
And then any other one, like it's usually like there's one that stops you. It's like okay, that one. I'd take Brotherhood, Full Metal Alchemist has some pretty good villains, but at the end
They
of the
do.
day, kind of like an organization, right? It's
yeah.
JJK does a pretty good job.
take
'Cause
your case.
You're kind of confused. Like, who is the villain? Is it
Yeah,
actually?
there's a lot of
you know?
back and forth in JJK. I had to watch a couple because I felt like I missed something. There's definitely one where like if you missed an episode or you weren't sure if you missed an episode, you really
Mhm.
need to watch it because I think every episode of JJK is very important. Well, where it gives away who characters are in each episode. So it's one of those ones where you really got to watch every episode for it.
An honorable mention, and Chainsaw Man, I think, is going to be pretty decent about its villains.
Yeah, it could be. We'll
I'm
see.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't
Although,
think
speaking of
I feel
Akatsuki
like
and
Chainsaw Man is a watered down version of Jujutsu Kaisen.
I kind of get I have the
I-
kind of same impression.
I would say more watered down One Punch Man.
I think you'll change your mind as it progresses.
Yeah. Didn't the movie come out this year?
There is a movie that's supposed to come out. Yeah, and like as far as JJK goes, the only reason I wouldn't pick that is just because there's some just curses that like Jogo. I feel like like Mahito. Awesome. Geto, awesome. Jogo and Hanami, like I feel like those villains just aren't up to par with like.
Yeah, there are some mid tier.
Yeah,
villains.
and I think that's the only reason I wouldn't put them. But like Mahito, God tier.
Yeah.
Sukuna, God tier. Geto, God tier.
Speaking though of the Akatsuki, and I just found out today that in transit to me are my final 4 Akatsuki Funko Pops. I will have
Nice.
the entire collection of everyone ever made, and I can start the construction of my Ghetto statue.
Oh
And
yeah.
place them all in it and have the LED light up eyes, and
Nice.
I'm gonna try to. I looked all around the internet because there were people that were like had these little LED screens, and I was
Mhm.
gonna make them the eyeballs so it looks like they opened and shut, but it was gonna take way too much work, and I was just like, I don't want to go through all the programming to make them do that. It would be a lot. I'd have to sell the damn statue after I made it.
Mm.
But yeah, eventually behind me, I will have a Ghetto statue made up with all of the Akatsuki sitting on the fingers of the Ghetto statue,
That's
and
really cool.
it'll be pretty awesome. So
Yeah, I like that. That's gonna be sick. That's gonna be
Sasori was
real
the hardest
sick.
one to get my hands on.
Sasori.
So
They're probably giving away Data's, huh?
Nah,
no, actually, Data is pretty hard to find. That's why I'm glad I have.
Not a lot of
Ox's
people have
one.
them.
That's why I'm glad I have Ox's one, because now that ever since he went, I don't I haven't seen him again, and I have to say his is one of the most detailed, because on top of having the floating clay statues, I just realized it the other day.
Don't
If
gas
you
them up.
actually look at his hands, the tongues are in it. So like really went right down to the wire of how Datara's Funko Pop was made. And
Yeah.
like, and I
Yeah.
feel like they could have done so much more with some of the other ones, like Itachi's. They could have had crows in the background. They could have had something, right? It just kind of felt like Datara's was the one they put the most into. Mind you, Sasori's is pretty wild. He's got the chakra lines going into the ground, so it looks like he's pulling puppets out of the ground. And then Kona's looks like she's all made of paper. So
That's pretty neat.
that one's pretty cool.
That's pretty neat.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, dude. My boy Dater.
But yeah,
Right.
no, I'm excited to finish that collection out and finish my villain collection there, Funko Pops. Don't know where I'm gonna put all of them. You know, I have to get the cabinet still, but for the time being, I'll probably pop them up and knock the Master Chief helmet down and stuff. So
I'm like waiting one day, like, you know, what if we're just like streaming and that whole shelf just comes tumbling down?
Just all the
Like
Funko
that,
Pops
like
come
that.
down.
Like
Well,
that,
that
Jake.
would
I don't
be-
know if Jake did that on purpose or
I
if that
did
was an
not.
accident.
that would make me cry because that car is like 2,000 pieces of Lego, and it took me damn near over 16 hours to make that
Buddy,
thing.
I have a Sunny one that's like 1,600, 1,800 pieces, and I broke it out. I think I put like 11 pieces together, and I said, "Fuck this."
I was about to say I've never seen it.
But I said, "Fuck this."
Yeah.
We'll put it back in the box. Put it back in the closet.
You know how
Where's-
hard it is to assemble something like that with a 4-year-old just on you, like
Yeah. Oh, I
dude.
understand. I had
Dude.
Peyton going, "Oh, look at the wheels. Oh, look at the car. Oh, look at the, like every step I did." Like when I assembled the engine and put the wheels and stuff on, I'm just like letting her play with it so that she's not trying to pull the pieces off of the desk.
yeah.
And the sad part is I just finished mounting that. I got the bracket from this guy in England who does these brackets, huge Formula One fan. And just as I finished this one, they announced that March 1st, the Mercedes version of that car is coming out.
Oh,
So
wow.
now I'm like, oh crap, now I gotta get the Mercedes one. so,
There you go.
so like another project to build. And I'm running out of
They-
space already, and I haven't even had this room that long.
They know what to do to get your money.
I know, dude. The Lego though, when it comes together, like when you're building it, you're just like, it looks like crap for 3/4 of it. And then when you start to get into those final pages, when you start reaching page 300 in that novel, you know, you're just like, oh my God, this looks so sick. Like the Rivendell set from Lord of the Rings, there's like 900 pieces alone in the roof. And you're just like the intricate details of all the stained glassing as it comes together. You're just like, oh, it's so satisfying. So satisfying. Yeah. I mean, I've got this crazy dragon right beside me that was like 900 pieces and it looks wild. So
I couldn't do it.
The things
I don't
we
have the
do.
patience.
I know.
I doubt you'll ever see that Sunny in the back. I might cut out the
The
you know,
picture.
around the edges of the picture on the cardboard, but that's about it. I don't know if we'll ever see that.
I
Lego.
was so mad because Lego has this thing where it's called Lego Ideas, and anything you want turned into a Lego creation, everyone can get a chance to do it. All you need is 10,000 votes, and then it goes to the Lego board of directors and their creation squad, and they decide whether or not it's going to make it as an actual Lego piece. And then in turn, you get a percent of the profits that your Lego creation has made. And someone made a oh my God version of the Ichiraku ramen set. Like the pictures were flawless. It had 10,000 votes overnight. And you were like, for sure, this has to get made a set. The comments on it alone, everything rejected. And they just
Really?
give you the same like lame ass explanation from Lego that's like, these are the reasons it got turned down. And then you see like marketing and advertising, and you're like, who owns rights to Naruto that wouldn't let Lego have this? Right? Like, because you know that would be a sold out set, an Ichiraku ramen set.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, absolutely.
like people would kill for it. I've seen ones of like the Going Merry and stuff. So people make like these custom builds of like the Going Merry, and you can buy Lego pieces to make it. Or like I saw Howl's Moving Castle. This girl made that, got all the pieces for her boyfriend for a Christmas gift, and she individually bagged them, made the box and everything, and it was Howl's Moving Castle that he ended up building. So it's just kind of like there's some wild stuff out there you can do with Lego, and it's pretty wild. That's what I should do. Make the ghetto statue out of Lego. That would take,
That would take forever.
that would take forever.
Hey, buddy, you have fun with that one, cause
Yeah. Can't film this week. Still building that ghetto statue.
hey, I find it hard to put together 1,000-piece puzzle, and now I'm having to put together Lego pieces. It's not
Okay, but
good.
at least the Lego pieces snap together easier than puzzles. You ever get halfway through a puzzle, realize one of the pieces don't stick, and you're like, no, you like slam your fist on the table and break the whole puzzle. That's why I can't do puzzles. I'm like, just it's table flipping rage. They're like, it's so therapeutic. I'm like, no, it's not. Half of Naruto is not finished.
Yeah. You finish it and your one piece is missing.
Yeah, and you're just like,
Mm.
Rage.
yeah,
Now you gotta go across the whole Grand Line just to get it.
yeah, exactly. Just to realize that your daughter swallowed it and she's gonna poop it out sometime.
Oh, yep. Gone forever.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yep.
Awesome,
Oh,
awesome.
Well, guys, I don't know. I don't have much else.
Yeah, dude.
I don't have much else to say here.
Now this was fun. I like being villains. I think we
Yeah.
should do this more
Mm.
often.
We should do this more often. Yeah,
Mm.
got some good ones.
And
here.
I'm the bad guy. Everyone calls me the bad guy.
Hey, you know
Buddy,
what,
you
though?
you
But-
wanted to control tectonic plates, and you know.
yeah,
It
and
was
rip
one
the world
time.
apart, Jake. All right,
Yeah.
that's never
Yeah.
gonna forget forgotten.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't say some crazy stuff. I was surely expecting it from you.
Yeah,
But I try to mannerism myself in the
it
public.
must be because he's in cruise mode. You know, he's
Yeah,
just like
yeah, he's about to leave us.
he's going to
Yeah.
the Grand Line himself. So everybody wish
Yeah.
Jake a fine, safe voyage, and hopefully he doesn't run into any villainous pirates out there on the Grand Line.
If I see any sea monsters, I'll bring them back with me.
All right.
Yeah, yeah, you do that. You do that. Can't have money, baby.
Yeah. Remember, don't eat the fruit.
Uh, Don't eat the fruit.
All proceeds go to Anime Rift.
Yeah. Give us something nice in your will. All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to do it for the podcast tonight. As always, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We do upload these now to YouTube, so you can catch them alongside our Rogers episode. And make sure that you subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you always get notified when we are uploading new videos, although that does happen on Tuesdays. Make sure you keep loving our content. We are so appreciative of all of the nice things you guys have to say. Follow us on TikTok, where we post our little shorts and our funny moments that sometimes don't make it into the pod, but are just funny anyways. Thank you so much for watching us. Make sure you come back next week. And from Ox and Jake and myself, Frozen, thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. We love you. We hope you have a great week, and we will see you next time on the Anime Rift.
Stay sexy.
Ciao.
I'm aboard.
Climb aboard and